Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Valorant Challengers North America, where we're getting near the tail end of the regular Swiss stage of the competition, and this week is going to be so exciting. I'm Sarah Dawn, joined here by Roy and Ash. Ash, I mean, every week has been awesome so far. Let's be real, but this week we're getting down to the wire, final week before playoffs.
Yeah, that's what's really exciting about it is that we're gonna have like two elimination matches today, qualification matches coming up here as well. It's when everything is getting locked in this week, and the surprise of even who we're even gonna see in day 3 on Wednesday, at the last part of.
And I love this in comparison to how we've seen some, Ascension or some group stage kind of play out before, Roy, because every match matters when we're looking at this. 4 losses, you're out. 4 wins, you're into playoffs. So, I mean, it really all just comes down to this. Like you can't get better Valorant out of that.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to the resolution. So Shakespeare is shaking in his grave somewhere, looking. He's like, all right, finally, we're seeing some resolution to this buildup that we've been seeing. But I mean, it's been amazing to see, and of course, we have had a week off as well with the conclusion of VCT. So I think a lot of these teams have been prepping. They've been practicing really hard. So I think the level of Valorant that we're going to be seeing for these final days here, going into playoffs, are going to be pretty good.
And looking back at the bracket and all of this, if it's a little confusing, if you haven't quite caught up to this after everything, we're looking at the wins. Of course, every time at the top a team gets 4, they are in. So looking at what we're going to be following today, it's going to be an elimination match to be starting off between SAD Esports and I Believe Gaming. Then later on, Ash, that's going to be M80 going up against Shopify Rebellion Black to try and get qualified.
Yeah, so that's the big thing, right? Is the fact that we're starting off with an elimination matchup and then that qualification that's coming in too. And I don't want to get too far into the M80 versus Shopify Rebellion Black game that's coming up later, but that one I think is going to be super exciting with the changes that are coming in for both those teams. We got a little bit of the preview last week from Monty for SRB, but focusing
Spoilers,
back
dude.
in now. Yo, hey, is that really a spoiler? Is it really a spoiler? Come on.
I think a little spoiler, but you know what? That's fine. There's a lot of exciting stuff here, so I'm not going to blame you for getting ahead of yourself. But before we get ahead with the first matches that we have for today, before we have to talk about elimination and all of this stuff, we're going to play a little game on the desk, okay? A little Valo Guesser. So right away, I just want to preface, I'm going to be absolutely dog water at this. As soon as we get into a map, I'm spinning my knife, and that's the only thing I look at. I don't look at my surroundings at all. But production's going to be showing us parts of the Valorant maps. We got to figure out where it is. Clear? Easy peasy?
Easy.
Sounds easy enough.
All right.
I think Roy and I are feeling pretty confident.
Okay, you guys will have to carry me,
Let's go.
please.
We got you. We got you. Just keep fidgeting with your knife and the little squeeze, the little teddy bear squeeze. Oh, okay. I mean, come on.
Okay.
If we can't get this one, let's wrap it up. This is baby door. This is
Easy
breakable.
peasy.
We agree?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Lotus baby doors? Easy.
Yep.
Easy peasy. When Lotus came out, and I called this baby door in a game, by the way, this is pretty new. I got made fun of for caster type callouts, which I think was crazy, by the way. They made fun of me for that, but yeah, that's
I like baby door.
it just makes sense, right?
I call it broken door.
Little broken door.
Yeah, I call it broken. Or just like ailing. All good.
Or vents.
That's boring.
I've heard it being called vents.
Oh.
Okay.
This is easy. Okay.
Yup. Wait, the production's not even trying. They're making it so easy for us.
No, they told us it was going to be hard. This is the little shop on split.
Yep, this is spawn. Defense spawn.
Yeah.
Defense spawn on the left side. Yep. Easy peasy. And chat, make sure you're joining along as well for any of these. And especially when they do get harder, we might need a little help. But yeah, I feel like this one's easy enough to go ahead and lock in. By the way, I want those figures. Like all of those. Those are so cute.
They're cute, right?
I know. And nudge, nudge. Anyone at Riot listening?
Listen, I'll happily accept any gift you guys will send me. Yes, let's go, team.
We're on fire.
The
I feel
it's
good.
building.
I feel
All right.
feeling good. Feeling good. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah's
See if it's
feeling more confident.
Yeah. Oh, this is isn't it the back half of Heaven on Fine? No? Yes? No? Am I
Is this
missing that
Fine
one?
or Abyss? Wait.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Wait.
No, because I
Is
know
this-
where this is. It's bothering me now.
Production wasn't lying. They weren't lying.
Production's, but the worst part is that I know that I've seen this 1.5 million times. So it's like, that's the worst part. I don't know. There is some sort of thing in the background when you're looking at Bind off of the A Heaven at the back there.
Yeah, I know you're talking about A Heaven right now.
But I don't know if that's the
I don't
right
think
spot.
this is the coloring for that area.
I don't think it's
or
there.
You're right.
Oh, you were right.
Okay,
Production
fire.
was like, we're
Fire.
Oh
letting
my
you know.
god.
So good. Let's go.
Oh my god, Sierra, you're cracked.
I think I got baited by the blue tones.
Yeah, same.
Though. This is fractured.
Thank you. This
It
is
has to be fractured. Yeah. Okay, a little unanimous. Okay. Feeling confident.
Perfect. Is this whereabouts on this is the map? Is this like on the side when you go like over ropes? Is this just on like the sides there? Or is it the thing that is right in front of the little booth that has the voice call outs?
I want to say this is in north side, where like the sand side, like the sand crunch side.
Sand side? I agree. Like, so wait, not
North side, right? No?
Is that not south side? Or am
I don't know. I don't know my
I
directions.
feel like this is south side.
It might be south side. Oh god.
I feel like this is. Am I wrong?
Whoa,
Oh, we're both
what?
wrong.
Oh. Okay, that one was a little
baited.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I think I led us down the wrong path there, talking about the ropes.
No,
I'm sorry.
No,
it's
okay.
it's a hard one. That was a hard
I
one.
saw the vision because it was like, I think we got baited by like the ledge portion where you can like pop up on that usually in spawn. But now.
This is Haven, has to be. But where in Haven? This is
Is it
garage? Outside garage?
Is it? I thought it was
not.
more
Mid?
so coming out from attacker spawn. I thought it was along kind of the wall there.
Okay. This
Like
is-
if you leave out, it's like where the wall would be, where on the other side is window. I thought. It could even be on the
Wait,
other
hold on.
side of that.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I'm trying to understand. Wait, hold on.
Wait.
It was a lot of it's on this side and then the other side of that
Okay,
window.
if-
And
if
I was
you-
like,
if you
girl,
look-
what?
If you look at the very bottom, you literally
Yes.
you walk out, like you see that square of like absolutely nothing right at the bottom. It's
Yeah,
on
spawn.
that. It's like on that wall. I'm pretty sure.
So and
I
it's
thought.
attacker spawn.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
like near attacker spawn or along that nothing wall.
I'm down for it. No!
No! All right.
I knew it. I had a feeling it was okay. I thought
did
this
you
was
say
outside garage, but no, I said outside garage. I would have been wrong
Oh.
anyway. This is actually in garage. But I think I play with my graphics low, so I never actually see that detail on the
No,
wall.
I also play with my graphics low. That's why I don't see this.
Oh my
this doesn't-
god! Wait.
The map looks familiar. This location looks wrong. Like I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's supposed to fit there, but
I'm feeling
You
a lot
didn't- you
less
weren't
confident,
garage
guys.
on that. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe we have
All
to
right.
swap to high graphic, Roy.
Yeah.
We're
We're too performance based. We need to go back to the artsiness of the game. Okay, we're way too performance incentives.
is that why I was like half okay at it because I have my graphics on high and that's also why I suck at the game? Am I learning things
Oh,
today?
wait.
With like some decor details, they don't show up on low graphics. Like they
I
just
think
don't
what she's
show.
saying is she has her graphics on high. That's why she sucks at the game. Honestly,
Oh.
Yeah. And Ash said
that's probably
yeah.
not why.
No. Hold on. I wasn't.
You just think you're just bad at the game.
Man.
That's not
That's
it. It's not it. It's not
that.
it.
All right, I'm gonna sit here and contemplate my field of quote unquote expertise here, but we got a match to start queuing up for today. Serious faces, guys, because this is serious stuff. We got Nightblood Gaming going up against that esports, both sitting at a 2-3 record, which means, Roy, this is elimination for these teams. Talking about SAD Esports then first, this is a team that, I mean, looking at it, there has been some up and downs, but it kind of seems crazy to talk about elimination for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think both of these teams are pretty in line in terms of like skill, in terms of like, you know what, underdog discussions. I think overall this is a pretty even matchup, but I think you're absolutely right. Like the fact that this is an elimination match, they're 2-3 record, by the way, for anyone watching. So if they lose this match, they're out, but if they win, they still do not qualify for playoffs yet. They'll have one more match to follow. But this roster that you see right here, a core that we've been talking about for the past few splits in VCL, Of course, they've had some additions to the roster that includes Zerona and Tuzi, but this roster is pretty formidable. They've shown a level of game that is consistent. They have an idea of how they want to approach the game, and I think in terms of rosters and in terms of players on this team, they have pretty outstanding players in specific roles, and I think overall this is a solid team. And one more thing I would like to reiterate is the fact that they've had a week to practice, especially with VCT concluding. They've gotten a chance to kind of get inspiration from different strategies and different ideas of how to approach the maps. So I think overall we should theoretically be seeing a higher level of Valorant going into today.
I hope so, not just from this team, but all the teams in general, because I want to see all the teams at the peak performance going into playoffs, because of course that's going to be the most important, to be looking at those all important ascension points. But not just talking about the team, but individuals on the team. Let's talk about Ferbza first, because Ferbza is someone who is at the top of the conversation every single time that we see this team, Ash. This is somebody who's always been able to step up, has been a really, really bright spot, and I mean, has to yet again step up today if we want to see this team be able to stay alive in the Swiss stage.
Yeah, I think you look at Ferbza and you consider the match they had not last week because we had the break, but 2 weeks ago up against Blue Otter. Yeah, sad, ended up losing that 1-2. But the only reason, one of the few reasons, it was a really close matchup was just how electric Ferbza was in the server on that day. Of course, a lot of follow-up coming in from the initiation on SAD as well, with Dip and Zerona just always being that secondary presence along his side to set him up for the aggressive duelist playstyle that he likes.
And I think that my favorite part about Ferbza is the fact that he seems to have like no performance loss with any of the duelists that he chooses to play. He's very versatile in the role, especially in this current meta where you have to be able to play so many different agents, right? You have to be able to play the Yoru, and some teams are running into the ISO, the Jet, the Raze, right? He's able to play all of these roles, maintain a pretty high level of gameplay, and his openers have been very strong, 21% almost across the board. That is a very impressive thing. That's what you want from your duelist, and he's that guy for his team.
And then we're going to go from that transition of talking about the duelist, then talking about the Senti on the team, the one person that's supposed to, you know, really be able to hold things together. And Roy, that's going to be us talking about Benji, because yeah, there is an aggressive duelist on the other end. So I'm looking at Benji to be able to hold this down. Yeah,
Benji. I mean, this is the type of player you want on the Sentinel role, right? He's reliable, he's consistent, he'll always get his, and he's a force on the lurk. There's always a fear factor of, oh, this guy's going to open up the other side, off his team's pressure, and now they can pivot back to the other side. He's aggressive, he's pretty confident in the way he approaches the game, and I'm a big fan of Benji.
Yeah, I love the points that you're making there about, you know, especially I think the lurk timings there as well, just really being able to capitalize on all that chaos that Ferbza and the rest of the team are creating for him. We've seen some really cool like aggro deadlock plays coming out from him as well. And it's been really nice just to see how this genuine and like deep chemistry that they've built up on the side of SAD, just due to the core of them previously playing together on Northwood, or still playing together on Northwood with Dip, Ferbza, and Benji, just seeing how that kind of all comes together for the bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's the chemistry that really has to be seen today. But I definitely think that what this team and some of these games that this team's been able to do, I think has been really, really strong. It is, again, when I look through the notes and I'm looking at these losses and I look at everything else, it's like, surely not this team, because I feel like when we've gotten to see SAD Esports play, we've gotten to see a decent level that it seems crazy to talk about elimination. But going up against them today is a team that I also don't think should be up for elimination personally.
I know say the same line.
I know, like, going into this, like, y'all made fun of me for my predictions, but Nightblood Gaming, I've been a fan of them since seeing them here in Stage 3, and I think that they've only gotten better. And even looking back, if I thought things with SAD Esports was close, Nightblood Gaming has had some really, really close series up against some really strong teams here, Ash. Looking back at Shopify Rebellion Black, looking back at M80, this has been close. Like, this is a capable team.
I think that's a really important shout, is that when you look at the matchup compared to SAD Esports, Nightblood Gaming have by far, I kind of want to say, had the harder matches, and they've been able to take it the distance each time. It hasn't been a clean series by their opponents by any means. They've consistently taken it to that third map. I think we've seen a lot of the experience that Boy brings to this as well, being one of the elder members, one of the most experienced members here too, and the value that he's able to bring on his.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and I feel like that is an under-discussed topic when it comes to this team, right? They have Huynh, they have Boyd, two players that have been around at a very high level since pretty much beta of this game, and the fact that they're kind of balancing out the roster with these two sort of young guns between Kess, between Alim, and they're sort of tying it all together in such a nice way to watch. And of course, Fireball, who's been around as well, competing at a pretty high level within the Sentinel role as well, and Duelist. And I think overall they're a very good team. They're very well balanced, and they have a pretty well-founded approach and philosophy to how they want to approach the game.
Talking more one of those, young bloods on the team, wanted to talk about Alim first, because going into this season of Challengers, it has been this constant discussion of these different duelists. And I mean, it has been tough out here with who has been the kind of top duelist. But Roy, looking at Alim, like the impact that he's been able to make in these servers has been instrumental for this team.
Yeah, Alim has really impressed me with his debut duelist, I would say, right? I mean, overall, his stats just on an eye test are very good. He has a very good kill to death ratio. He's got very good damage per round. His opening percents are really good, sitting at 22%. I mean, there's really no downside to Alim. He's overall very good on almost every single duelist. I would say really the only concern for me has been like, how good is his Yoru in comparison to his Neon, which appears to be an insane pick for him, and he seems to make it work very well. But again, we are sort of leaning into this kind of Yoru heavy meta. Oh, my cat alarm. But this Yoru heavy meta, right, where like you need to be able to kind of leverage the Yoru, otherwise it's kind of hard or awkward to run Neon on so many different maps. That has been really the only con I can think of when I think of this player. But outside of that, in terms of mechanics, in terms of just passing the eye test when it comes to clips and just like his pop-off potential, I think Alim has very much impressed me, and I think he's sort of making his name in VCT or VCL, excuse me, as we go along.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool to see this test between him and Burbza as well. You were talking about how Alim's one of these newer players to the scene, getting to get a bit of experience on this roster from some players who are a bit more veteran to competitive Valorant. And then you're looking back towards like a Burbza who has been around for quite a while within the Valorant competitive scene, was one of like the initial like hot up and comers back in the day. So it's going to be really cool to see them going head to head to today's matchup. And it's a rematch as well between Sad and NBG from stage 3.
Love that. We're getting the history there. So final person to talk about who we did get to see back in that stage 3 for that first time meeting, talking about Kess, initiator for the team, because Kess is someone on the team as well. It's hard when you go through this team, in my opinion, because Boy was also a really good shout out for someone to talk about going into this series. But when we are looking at this impact that Alim has been making, I mean, obviously you have to have a great initiator behind them, Roy. So I'm really looking at what Kess is able to do this series.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't get me wrong, I think Kess is a very good supportive player, but he's also like a menace in his own way. He's just an annoying initiator to play against. He's constantly abusing the Odin. He's constantly pressuring you with util. He's willing to be the guy that's getting baited for like this level of X factor that you get. I mean, literally, like, guy has clips with Odin as his montage like that. That is crazy.
And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's just Odin all day. I remember being here during one of the series where it was just Odin all day, and Ash, people were losing it. But hey, if it's working, it's working it. If it's working, it's working.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? He's mostly going to be playing like that recon character, and he knows how to work the weapon really well. I feel like half the time we're on his point of view, he's just like walking around with that heavy gun in hand. And I'm just looking at him like, man, you kind of pissed me off a little bit. But you gotta respect it at the same time.
Yeah, and I think for me, like the kind of the final talking point for Kess to add on in here as well is the fact that he's had almost no issues integrating the Tejo into his rotation of initiators as well. He's in fact looked very comfortable on the role. His stats have been pretty. I think Tejo might actually be his highest like statistic player or agent, excuse me, and he's been performing very well, especially going into such a heavy Tejo breach meta. It's nice to have a player like Kess on your team who's able to play almost any initiator.
100%. But we got to start talking about the series that's ahead of us for today. Head over to the map picks and bans. And looking at the very first map that we get to see in the series with Nightblood Gaming, I was not surprised. The only time they didn't get to play this was when M80 went and banned it against them. But Alim, Neon here, Broy has just looked so clean. They've looked great here in general. So yeah, checks out.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're 3-1 on the map. They've overall looked in my opinion, the most balanced in terms of their defense power as well as their offense power. A lot of teams seem to be struggling on their defense for whatever reason on this map. It seems like they're not really quite finding their footing, but this team is not really having that problem. They feel both effective on their attack sides and on their defense sides. And of course, Elim gets to play his favorited Neon. His stats on that agent have looked very, very good. So it makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, I think what's interesting too is that you look at this map pool and maybe look to try and lean more towards like the NBG side. I think for especially the initial 2 maps, it gets a little bit interesting into the tail end of things when we look at Bind, because on paper you would think, okay, maybe SAD Esports, but they also have a lot of footage on them playing on Bind throughout DCL as well. So it's a little bit of that back and forth where we're seeing these maps that are strong for either side coming through, but also the ability within that last week that we had off to have gone back to some of that VOD review, some of that anti-stratting and that preparation going into today. So something that you'd normally expect either to be comfortable on might come to a surprise.
I mean, I see that map pool, I see the predictions, and I feel better than ever with my prediction for the week, but I am the only one going against the grain of the SAD Esports crew here. I mean, Ash, I think it's going to be a good series either way. I'm not going to lie, but y'all are against me.
I'm sorry. You know, I had to go with my heart on this one. I think with SAD Esports, I've always supported the Northwood players. They were always a fan favorite of mine to watch throughout collegiate, and to see this core of them stick together. And then also with these additions that have looked so good with Tuzi and Zerona filling in those last 2 spots, looking extremely well-rounded. I feel like this is a great litmus test too for SAD heading up against an NBG who has performed really well up against some of the top teams within.
I guess you got some good reasons. That checks out. But what all that matters is what happens in the server today. So let's head on over to the agent select, see what the series is going to be delivering. Of course, Nightblood Gaming, again, Roy, a lot of tape here. So it's going to be on SAD Esports. If there is going to be a change, to try and counter that.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing that they need to pull out right here is figuring out how to deal with Elim's Neon. He just had so much consistent level of success. I feel like if SAD Esports want a chance on this map, they really just need to figure out a way to just shut down Elim. Don't let him get a lot of value. And of course, Kess, you know, you just pray he's having an off game and he's not really using Odin to piss you off. So besides that, I think overall it should be a pretty close match between these 2 teams. It really didn't feel, I mean, oh, actually, wait, we are seeing a bit of a comp swap here from the side of SAD. They've actually swapped off the Sentinel role. So they swapped from the Vice to the Cypher.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be pretty interesting. I feel like what we saw them struggle with a bit up against the Cubert Academy was some of that mid control. And I feel like for SAD, this makes them feel a little bit more flexible, a bit more confident with their flank watch and whatnot, and just being able to manage a couple of those gaps that were open in their previous round.
A little bit of a switch up from SAD Esports. We'll have to see if it's going to be enough going up against the Pearl Demons of Nightblood Gaming. First map of the series. Time to head on over to our caster Marks and Shift to get this elimination match started.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have too many Canadians on this broadcast, I've decided. I'll Shift here with Marks, and yeah, the desk hit it on appropriately. This should be a map that Nightblood Gaming will be thrilled to see. SAD Esports looking to try to rebuild an identity after only playing it once so far in the stage.
I mean, yeah, the whole story about like SAD Esports trying to change things up. Let's keep in mind that the only time we've seen them play Pearl in Split 1 so far was up against Cubert Academy, a team that just will run away with anything unless you're going up against the rankers, of course. But Cubert Academy was one of the higher echelon teams. And so coming into this, you know, seeing SAD swap over from the Vise back onto that Cypher pick, especially with how Benji likes to play, to me, feels a little bit more comfortable, feels a little bit more how he would want to play that specific agent. So I'm fairly confident that, you know, this should be a good one.
Yeah, and I won't say that like Benji's like a comfort pick Cypher, but I think in the matches that we have seen out of SAD Esports where they have prevailed, it has been a lot of lockdown agency coming out of Benji on Cypher. Like you saw a lot of that highlight reel that we saw kind of in the beginning of the pre-show. It was a lot of Cypher clips. He's really good at being trusted as kind of a island agent to lock down a site and then be trusted to call for reinforcements if he absolutely needs to. And I think the better part about this is he's going to get that support coming out of Doozy because Astra can play stars whenever and wherever. So there is a lot, I think, of agency when it comes down to Benji trying to play more of a lockdown agent in Cypher than necessarily trying to play more of a reactionary kind of counter initiation in Vice. So it definitely feels like a pick that makes sense. You got to keep in mind, it was like a month ago that they played Qbert Academy. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of time since we've seen SAD on this map. But the bigger story, and I think the general narrative here, is that for Nightblood Gaming, this map has been very good for them, and it continues to be a staple as we jump on into the first round.
Yeah, I mean, Nightblood Gaming, they've looked always really good on the defense compared to their offense. And already, we're just getting in the middle of it. Ferp's already down.
Yeah, just full on send it through mid. At least one counter trade will come through, but we've got ourselves an early 4v3. SAD Esports already making their way on towards the B site. Quick flank on the way from ALM around the back. That will be revealed by the trap wire, so there will be some knowledge here for SAD Esports setting up their post plant.
And this is interesting because they're all coming down different lanes, whereas SAD are more or less sticking together, so they should be able to win trades.
Oh, really good awareness here from Boy. Bossing the fragment to delay his trade. Full pop flash. He gets 3 off of it. Can't quite connect, though. Able to find one more that was a low HP onto Benji. Alem just going to stop on and see if he can just hold for the spike defusal. Dip the next one in the way, and the shot initially lands. It's messy. Both players hanging for now. Haunt will come through. Dip elected to be aware of this, and Kess is just going to stick it. Oh, the balls.
Oh, the monkeys aren't dancing today. That was an exciting pistol round. Usually it's a little bit more just like, all right, let's take our time walking around, and okay, now we can finally go in onto the site. But, like, you know, SAD just full sending it right in. An immediate brawl happening there, and you can tell that this is going to be a little bit of a fiery match. And of course, too, like, Kess being the one to get the defuse, get the outplay there, after being highlighted on the desk for being so annoying and just so aware on that initiator role. Just an excellent job played by Nightblood Gaming to secure that first round. And now, Alum does have an outlaw. Of course, not going to be super effective because that's all the way onto the B site. Meanwhile, the rest of SAD Esports, they're moving over to this A site, but eyes are on this judge. This could be devastating as SAD Esports, they decide to back out of there.
I like it. I mean, you've got every form of weaponry on the table right now. Like you mentioned, the Outlaw just trusted to watch B long. You hear the Aries starting to spam over towards A short. And if you can funnel everyone into the judge, well, you know what's waiting around the corner when that starts to occur. But there's going to be some action here for Elim. He is going to be in a spot where, well, hit your shot, kid. That's what we're going to say about this one.
Well, here's going to be the first opportunity. Spotting one, but able to get one and back out.
Clean at least for now. That will stall things for a moment. Folks will be sent the direction of Aelin. Trying to find at least some sort of deterrence and just create some space. The knife will reveal. Does not catch Boy, who finds his way in towards the site, though. Ursa, good opportunity, connects. A little more possibly on the way, but no, the weaponry is just too superior. Boy will come away with 3, and it's all down to Benji in the middle of the map.
And at this point, not going to be able to get too much there. On top of that, too, because SAD are the ones that have to plant the spike, you can't just really hang out and wait for that spike to detonate. But overall, you know, interesting ideas coming out of SAD just on this easy second round here. And of course, it always just comes down to Elim being able to find that first pick with the Outlaw. And it's terrifying, you know, if you're walking down long and you're like, oh no, I can just get shot once and I'm dead. It's a little bit of a hard prospect, especially against the duelist as good as Alum. And Boy cleans that one out. Nice little 4 kills to really, you know, get the momentum going behind Nightblood Gaming.
Yeah, boosting up the ultimate as well. Already has an ultimate ready to go, which could be pivotal as we look at the weaponry coming into this one. A formidable bonus here, as we call it, just due to the fact that the Aries, the Judge, the Outlaw still going to be in play. Of course, the traditional rifles will be here in round 3 for the offense, but that ult command really could put a pause to things. I think it's just going to be really curious to see what is Boy going to do in terms of his positioning. You know, he's kind of been the second line of defense, at least for what they've set up to this point. And look, that may be the case again, is they're going to swap around the weapons. This time, the Neon of Alem will have the Judge looking to go quickly. Flash is already out. A follow-up is there.
Oh my
first shots, though, are messy, and SAD will find the first blood.
You at least have to give Nightblood Gaming points for creativity there. Just full send it, and a headshot takes Ferpsa down. Things just got a little bit more tough for SAD Esports, especially with the tip of their spear taken out of play completely. And so you see SAD, they're going to slow things down. Thankfully, they do have Tuzi starting to get a little bit of space over onto B, but this is far from an ideal scenario for their squad. They were really counting on applying additional pressure since they were able to get Alum basically for free, but now you can tell that they're recounting it and they're going to be backing off after sending a little bit of a fake owl drone just to try and make it seem like they're going on to A.
Now that does pull Boy back. That's actually pretty key here because Fireball, playing the solo defender on B, only has really his utility to play with because it's just a sheriff in his back pocket. And I think that little jumping peak will reveal that there is a hit on the way over towards B. Boy quickly trying to make his way back over. That null command going to be the biggest defensive threat as Sad try to get their way on towards site. And there it is, immediately pop. That's going to get Boy into sight. Zerona, though, able to get the shut down, plus one more with the help of NG, and that will lead to a plant.
And on top of that, too, they're just going to wait this one out. They know that Boy cannot be resurrected very easily. Kess up top does have that LMG, but Benji drops him immediately.
Last player standing.
Just down to win. Could still pack a bit of a punch here with the Outlaw, but you see the spy cam already on the corner for Benji. That will be the first defender here. Star just gets popped just to make life a little bit extra difficult for Win. And likely there will be not much of a climactic finish here. Ending, of course, how this exit starts to unfold. First shot, not quite there. Second one lands, but Suzy, Zerona combined for the team shot, then Sad get on the board.
And honestly, good weaponry able to be taken away from that. Besides the fact that Ferbsa died super early on in that round, the rest of Sad Esports, they're able to survive and keep their weapons into this next one. And this is going to be the round where we get to see the two Rams bash their horns into one another. But I'm super curious to see how this matchup between these two duelists is going to unfold. One obviously onto the Jet, a little bit more of a classic Pearl style, whereas the other one on a Neon, which, well, if you've watched VCT, you know Neon is definitely still viable here, despite all of these nerfs that have happened, and they're going to be butting heads yet again.
Yeah, flashing dashes for both, and Ferbsa, the one that's initially found the trade, is immediately secured, though. Boy still playing on the corner. Pop flash coming out, but Zerona not quite able to follow up fully onto that. But still, Pinstripe goes to the kill feed, and we've got ourselves an early 3v3.
And this is something that I always like seeing Sad Esports do. They're extremely effective when it comes to those moments of teamwork. Obviously, just making sure they get their trades here. But if you watch a little bit closely, the way that they use their utility and coordinate off of one each other has been fantastic every single series.
Yeah.
Of course, now they are going to be moving in onto A, but Nightblood Gaming are setting themselves up to potentially defend this site while their Killjoy is starting to get on that flank.
That's going to opt to try to play the defense forward here. Had two Prowlers in the back pocket, but that's enough information for Dip to immediately pull the Hunter's Fury for the elimination. Win, trying to find timing on this post plant. And we'll find the first. Has good fire up. Follow up here for Fireball if they can get there, and no, just not there in time. Suzy catches Win off guard. But quickly, trades through connector here at A-Link. Leads us to a 1v1. Star down, Suzy. Down to 78 HP. Fireball's position 1,000,000% already known. Suzy trying to slip right back underneath it. Goes into the astral form, pops a star down, and finds the angle for 4 in the round. Sad stringing them together.
A bit of a game of cat and mouse on that A side in that post plant there, but Sad are able to walk away with that one. Ooh, we're getting a nice little new overlay here as we get to see a little bit of experimentation at play. But no, fantastic round coming in from Sad. Once again, things are completely swinging back over. You can take a look at the weaponry of Nightblood Gaming. I'm very curious to see whether or not we're going to continuously just see those duelists immediately trade right off the bat. But once again, that isn't the worst case scenario for Sad, because I genuinely think that their core is extremely good at playing off each other.
Oh, what a shot from Alim! About to say, oh, okay. I was about to say, if he gets away with that, that would be unbelievable. But a little bit of blind fire through the fast lane does connect for Ferbsa. So again, both duelists finding each other early in the round, and we've got our 4v4. Although orbs have been collected, Null Command and the Divide ready here for Sad Esports.
And keep in mind, too, they still have they still have another initiator alive just because they did go for that double initiator comp. So thanks to Zerona, especially too with that null command, they should still have a pretty easy time engaging. I'm worried about this Bucky, though. Not necessarily a judge, but it still packs a punch, especially that close around corners.
Well, looks like the offensive Sad Esports will take a moment of pause, waiting for the rest of the team to join. Win sticking into their nebula. There's the null command. Win has to stick his Brown, finds one, but that's going to be recoverable for the spike, plus also the revive onto Zerona. A couple of stray shots from Nightblood trying to connect, don't fully land. Fireball over the corner. Has a decent look at Ferbsa, but can't lock down the shot. Then the follow-up elimination is also there as Tuzi provides it. So again, relatively expensive. You get the null command pulled, but still it's a round win for SAD Esports.
And a round win is more than you can really ask for. I mean, the fact too that Zerona was the first person to walk into the smoke is just a little bit extra awareness, as you can tell, because yeah, null command, we can just pick him right back afterwards. And so that way you can scout out whether or not there is the potential of like a shotgun around the corner, and the follow-up for SAD, just to jump on it immediately. It always looks so darn good. We're now seeing Nightblood Gaming maybe feeling the pressure, surmounting just a bit after 3 rounds in a row from SAD Esports. And so they're going to be calling their tactical timeout here, hopefully figuring out what they can do, because, you know, they do have 2 of their ultimates online. And, well, Alem does have that overdrive online. And so especially comboed with that op, there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah, I think the conversation here for Nightblood is, do we still want to throw as much investment into these first 5-second battles as we have in the last 3 rounds? Like, again, granted, you were on a bonus for one of them, and then you had a save round the last round, but the contact has still been very fast and very furious, and there's been a very high-level priority for both these 2 teams, spending flashes to try to get their duelists in early. Again, great opening shot there from Alem. Immediately, though, just threw smoke on both sides. And then you called this perfectly. Yeah, good heads-up play there from SAD, kind of covering their bases, making sure that the player that can be revived goes in first. So good stuff, I think, for both sides. And yeah, this is going to be a conversation for Nightblood of, do we want to keep doing this, or do we want to try to play for a little bit safer contact and then try to burst for maybe a contest to the spike plant rather than trying to hold on to these long angles early? And well, it's going to be forced as the Cosmic Vibe goes up, and here comes SAD Esports.
Very fast, very furious. Shorty out, and overdrive popped as well. Ferbsa engaging.
All right through it. Oh, hi, how are you? 3 for 1, the exchange here over the top of the B point. Tuzi still hanging, Prowlers in. And yep, this is going to be an easy collection of weapons here as Alem will get a Vandal in hand. Now, an opportunity for Benji to possibly isolate a 1v1 in the middle of the map. The problem is Tuzi's about to get completely overwhelmed. Or is he? He could back out of this if he wants to, but the Cosmic Divide falls, and that's enough for Alem to find the trade.
And now Benji just going to be backing out here. I don't think that this round is necessarily going to be salvageable, but at least playing on the other side of the trip, maybe looking for an additional kill could be pretty good. And at this point too, like they highlighted it on the desk, Benji extremely good on that flank. Applies so much pressure, just takes so many people out, really keeps your opponent guessing, and right now is being pretty much foiled thanks to Fireball Ops. That Killjoy utility is doing a great job at just giving the heads up to Nightblood Gaming about where Benji might be, and it's denying so much space because, you know, if Benji just decides to walk in and an alarm bot goes off, then immediately all of that flanking potential that we know him to be good for just vanishes in a second.
Yeah, really good point. And you can kind of see, again, all the mollies down. It gives Alem just enough of an opportunity to stay alive with that shorty in hand behind the Cosmic Divide. And honestly speaking, this defense has been very formidable around this B point. Knives out quickly, though, for Ferbsa. Looking for some tempo through mid. Flash. That was actually a friendly fire that came through right there. Didn't quite get around the corner. And keep in mind, there is a little bit of Killjoy utility here defensively if they decide to push down in towards Art.
And notably, too, ever since we've seen Alem pick up that operator, we're no longer seeing that, for lack of better terms, seeing the Neon just run down mid and immediately lose their life. It's a lot more cautious now, which is working out for Nightblood.
Almost a second opportunity, but dashing back right into the teeth of the Killjoy utility. It's enough for Fireball to get the trade. So that's a shutdown. Oh, caught with the flash out. Trades are decent here for SAD Esports, enough for the neural threat to be called. And you're going to know that Alem is playing around this long flank now. Still has just the operator Fireball, nearly able to find one. And you got to think this is going to be some sort of a lockdown retake 2v3.
Operator's still in hand as well. And okay, now you hold on to that ultimate there. Excellent job from SAD just to keep on applying pressure there. And well, yeah, they walk away with that round win, are able to hold on to 3 of their Vandals into this next one. Ferbsa obviously used the knives, found a pretty instrumental kill, but still, Nightblood Gaming, like you said, are doing a really good job on this defense. I've been keeping an eye on where they're spreading out around the map, and we've seen 3 different variations already of where they're setting up their agents, dependent on whether or not they've got that sniper rifle available, whether or not they've got certain pieces of utility or ultimates available. So you can tell there's been a lot of thought invested into this, and now Kess only one with a Vandal in hand.
Cass is actually going to go on a little bit of a hero mission. I think Benji may have just seen the top of one of the defenders head through mid. That'll be enough for Fireball to actually back off of this. The defense was heavy stacked for a mid or A play. Nothing there. Good patience here from SAD Esports, taking their time.
At the same time, though, Nightblood Gaming, they gave up so much space onto this map. And so it's so weird when they have to re-clear it as the engagement kind of goes underway, but already you see a little bit of backing off.
Yeah.
Already, Alem not even able to get back onto that C-long watch just in case.
And Zerona just making sure that this weapon is not collectible. Fireball will still be able to pick up one of them. Contact through mid, that'll work out for one, but Fireball right in position, denies the recon. And now it's just down to how much more do you want to force it? He wants it all. It only gets a little bit of dip. So just down to win. 1v2, but I would say clutchable. All it takes is 2 shots.
Yeah, on top of that too, if there's just 2 headshots, should be able to rescue a rifle along the ground. Is definitely looking for that opportunity. Does have it, just misses a little bit of timing. And SAD, they're going to have more than enough time to get themselves ready for this crossfire. I just hope that they don't give themselves up to these weird 1v1 angles.
Well, Doozy, the healthiest one, very well maybe the first point of contact here. This could determine possibly the round.
Taking that back.
Nebula just for a quick moment to get into the site. Now here's the contact on the corner. Nope, does not check the corner correctly. Zerona will find the elimination. And it'll be a 5-3 tally for SAD Esports. It's been a heck of an offense for him.
Yeah, SAD are looking pretty good so far. And obviously, like, when we take a look at the kills, it's so even between the SAD Esports squad. We're used to seeing Ferbsa be like, oh my goodness, there goes Ferbsa, 30 kills in the lobby, that's crazy, here comes the Ferb. But this time around, like, Nightblood Gaming are doing an excellent job at keeping Ferbsa in check very early on in these rounds, and it's up to the rest of the team to really carry things through. And once again, I highlighted it rounds ago, but they're doing an excellent job off of playing off each other. Those fundamentals feel so well rehearsed, and so it's forcing Nightblood Gaming, even though they've got a good pulse on the map, to play in these uncomfortable situations because SAD are bringing that level of coordination through.
Oh, here we go. A little contact. Alem just going little by little on the corner. Tosses out the relay bolt. That's enough for Tuesday to give away the angle. So again, another advanced angle being held early by Alem. Prowler just to ensure that there's an opportunity to stay here. This will allow the defense to kind of stack their cards over towards B, but don't really get away on this because SAD Esports are looking to retake this position at A main.
And keep in mind too, Nightblood Gaming, they've got 3 ultimates in their pocket. And so I imagine SAD Esports as well are trying to play tactical, making sure that dip stays alive because that Hunter's Fury could disable one of them, but as soon as they say that, dip goes down.
Yep, and this is the run and gun neon playstyle that's been plaguing us for the last calendar year. Get a kill, run out of there. Null command immediately popped out. This will suppress the entirety of the defense around the A site, but with all this pre-fire coming through, SAD Esports are going to hit the brakes. So nothing really develops off of the null command. Follow-up knife will give them the information that they need, and now SAD Esports are going to commit to this. And I just don't know if they had the vacancy to actually take this ground. Doozy's able to get one and get into sight, but Benji's really not a part of the play yet. Finally starts to join up, and Tuesday may have saved the day. Nightfall comes through, and we got ourselves a 3v2 situation. Wasn't able to find one more, and it's all down to Tuesday.
Oh, such a hard play to try and win that one back. I was going to say, the entire time, Kess was just hanging out at the back of the site, waiting to let the Nightfall go, playing so safe in the back lines, just simply because it was like, okay, well, this should be a winnable scenario for our defense. We can hold on to these ultimates, and everything's going to be great. And then Tuesday just decides to find a couple of kills on the side. It's like, okay, we're sweating a little bit. Let's just let the Nightfall rip, and then the rest of Nightblood Gaming can come and clean up the rest. Finally, the digression from Alem is looking perfect. They're able to get the kill, get out nice and easy, able to escape thanks to the neon tech, and then the rest of the round just plays out how Nightblood Gaming would want. They're even able to get a couple of ultimates out of SAD Esports' pocket.
They still have Hunter's Fury to SAD Esports. Aldrin has already revealed Fireball. Orb collected behind this play. No, it did not go to Tuesday, so no Cosmic Divide here. Kind of walking it up B-long. At the pillar, kind of stuck behind this Nebula at the moment. Are SAD Esports, but with Tuesday joining the party, looks like they're going to commit to this.
Yeah, the knife comes out, should spot out Fireball Ops, and now they know they can engage, but as soon as they say that, Nanoswarm's activated.
Behind this, though, it is kind of dicing and shredding up this defense, but they lose track of Fireball. The first defender is the one that finds almost everything. Boy, the null command has been felled. but I just don't know if there's going to be enough of an opportunity to get a full follow-up here, as you've got a long flank developing from Win, and Kess is just trying to hold their life up top towards tower.
Oh man, everyone is scattered all throughout the map. We're about to see a deathmatch underway here. Who's gonna look first? Looks like it's gonna be Hyun first. Dip goes down, but now Benji in this 1v1 scenario up against Hyun. The spike's still on site, 30 seconds left.
30
Shift.
seconds
And Win
left.
knows that the spike is down here. Trying to take the angle, and oh gosh, how many eliminations have we seen because someone's tossing utility right as contact comes through? It feels like that was at least the 18th. So 5-5 to count through 10. And we're going to get a really interesting kind of economical situation here for SAD. It looks like based off the early purchases, they're going to look to save.
That is so hard, but once again, at the same time, you can tell that Nightblood Gaming have done their homework there. Immediately when they get down to this weird 2v2 scenario, they're already checking for Benji on the flank. They know that they can't let Benji walk away with it, and sure, immediately falls down in the middle of that gunfight because Benji wins those, but still gives the information and makes sure that it still is possible. So excellent just read from Nightblood Gaming is enough to carry them across the ground. And now, not really good weaponry in the hands of SAD Esports. Immediately Kess finds Dip. No LMG needed this time.
This is one of those Wayne Gretzky, you miss all the shots you don't take type situations. May as well spam the smoke. Never know what you're going to come away with. It's an easy first blood. Benji would have to do something Reddit-worthy right here. Had an opportunity at it. Salem not going, whoa, was it not just going to let him get away, but still finds one. Not the worst news in the world as we go 3v4.
Okay, and like you said, not the worst scenario. They're at least able to find one. I don't necessarily think that that rifle is going to be an easy one to get. They're at least going to have to check all of their corners, but it looks like this A site might be where they can move in. Ferpsid no longer does have that dash, but 2 more kills, just 2 people on site, it'll be back, and suddenly that duelist can fly.
Yeah, that's good information right there, honestly, from Ferpsid, knowing someone's playing in pit, but Win doesn't care. You know where I'm at. Still going to take this battle at my own turn. Nice opening shot there from Tuzi, and that's 2 for Tuzi. That's going to be fun to say all day long. And we've got ourselves a 1v2 situation, post-plant scenario with a weapon. Definitely doable here. It's going to be desperate with just 54 HP, but definitely doable.
Also, 2 Cosmic Divide online. I don't think that this is the round that you pop it. 4 bullets left in the gun.
That's also a bit menacing. Fireball just going on the outside of the smoke. Knife will reveal that, yep, he's on site somewhere. Can't be far, and boy will find the easy peasy one. So there's an edge back to Nightblood Gaming after what was a very solid start to this half for SAD Esports. We're going to get a very critical round 12 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this is going to be the last round in the half, so SAD should be able to buy up all the weaponry that they need into this one. But if we just take a look at the ultimate economy, this is so heavily favoring Nightblood Gaming. Keeping in mind, too, that Kess just needs 2 more ultimate orbs to be able to get Nightfall back online. But Fireball Ops with the lockdown, we haven't even seen that lockdown get utilized, and this could be the round that it finally comes out there. That is such an extremely powerful tool, especially too given the fact that SAD don't necessarily have anything to deal with it right away.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Shift, like, this is what we were expecting in this matchup here. Both of these teams very clearly in the middle seed. One of them has to be eliminated, both of them fighting for their lives, and already you can tell that they're just going blow for blow.
Yeah, it's really, there's no caution here for either of these 2 teams. This is trying to assert some alpha dominance, I feel like, because both teams really start this entire half off the first 5 rounds, flash and dashing at each other. And then eventually get a moment of pause, a little bit of calculation coming from Nightblood, and that has really worked out nicely for them. But you're right. I think that you're looking at this round, this timeout, called by SAD Esports. If you're Nightblood, you know you have a divide, you know you have a lockdown. You should be trying, I think, to lean towards playing retake here, especially considering that you do have the ability to hit an overdrive through Tuzi's Cosmic Divide on the other side if you need it. So, yeah, it definitely feels like a round that you could just be playing a little bit more passive. And that may be the case here with a heavier stack in through mid, maybe a little bit of a double check initially here for Nightblood, and then they'll kind of back into sight.
Yeah, already a lot of pressure being applied through mid from both these teams. We might see a brawl in mid.
Oh, overdrive already be called. Relay Bull does get around the corner, but really good cage placement. Benji just triggers it at the exact right moment because, wow, they were in trouble. Neural Theft will be earned off of that, and now all the information goes to SAD Esports on this attack.
Still, they decide to move in onto this beat. Cosmic Divide going to be activated, and so a lockdown comes out retaliatorily. But I think SAD Esports want to challenge this.
just don't know if they can get up to the high ground to deal with it, though, is the issue.
Yeah,
they're going to back up all the way towards the pillar. You're going to have Benji still holding in through mid, and Dip has an angle. Oh, Cass just gets caught peeking. Follow up from Fireball. Again, it's been really good on this island. Defensive Cosmic Divide going to be called. Big moment here for Benji, and the timing of this pinch. Rips him from behind. And now it's just down to Hwin. 1v3 rotating from the middle of the map.
and at that point, it might have been just a little bit of hubris coming out from Nightblood Gaming being like, yes, we do have all these ultimates. We're going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. And then just not being able to play well off them. Win, able to at least find one, making this winnable.
Problem is he's got no information on the last two members. Uzi still playing with stars. Win going to do the exact same thing. Can he find a way to get into the site? There's the opportunity. Burbza has not seen him yet, but is watching the perfect angle. How about a tied game? 6-6 through the first half. Both these two teams fighting for their lives.
Oh, and fight for their lives they will. And so it is really interesting now that we're going to be seeing Nightblood Gaming on the attack and SAD Esports on their defense, because talking about that historical match where SAD went up against Hubert on this specific map, Hubert just ran over their defense. Like, they just ran over their defense. But at the same time, that is Hubert Academy, which is known to be very strongly attacking favored. Going up against Nightblood, well, on this map, Nightblood Gaming traditionally have played better defensive halves. And so their offense leaves a little bit, well, wanting, for lack of better terms. And now that they're going up against this SAD defense, I think we're finally going to be able to see what SAD are capable of, and whether or not this Nightblood Gaming attack has been refined a bit more from previous matches.
And I think on top of that, this is the reason that you put Benji on towards a more traditional Sentinel for him instead of trying to play the Vite. Prowler out. Benji's in the corner. Has to try to go to the classic. The right click's not going to land. Follow up from Nightblood. Not able to find the response, but they get a little bit stuck up here. Balaam able to kind of break ankles. That's Neon Tech for you, friends. If you don't know, now you know. And apparently, Burbza knows, as he will catch the right click from Boy. Last one left is Dip. Nice headshot. Follow up, so not as clean as Boy hops off from the initial spike attempt and finds the final shot.
Man, these pistol rounds have been like a cage match between these two teams. Like, between just like swapping weapons, right clicks going crazy, Neon sliding around, Jets dashing across the map. It's kind of unbelievable. But once again, it just shows the ferocity coming out from both these rosters. And so it's been such a fun, well, pistols rounds to watch between these two squads. And now Alim is going to be bringing in a Phantom onto this next one. And I'm wondering whether or not we're going to be seeing that very gung-ho Neon style, because that could put that weapon at jeopardy. Oh, yeah. And you don't want to give that over to SAD Esports.
Well, initially, they will get Win on the angle over towards A-Main. Counteracted by SAD, just pushing with pure force of numbers. And Win has found his battleground. This is his Alamo. And you never forget the Alamo. Susie, another double for them. That's not bad. The problem is these weapons are a little bit too far deep for him to be able to concern himself with, and Benji's also still playing an island with the class. So still enough firepower here for Nightblood Gaming to get 3 rifles.
And once again, this is that classic thing where, well, you know, if SAD Esports are at least able to find one more kill, then Nightblood Gaming, their economy is not going to be great. You know, all of that type of stuff. But I think that this is still a very winnable scenario if SAD are able to find a timing onto Fireball ops here, especially too, as they seems like they will be going around on this very deep flank.
Yeah, they want these weapons, and the timing will work out for them to gain them, but they're going to have to be playing retake from the offensive side of the map, and there is an alarm bot in their way. Knife that gets tossed, obviously not revealing anything. Here comes the critical moment. The alarm bot in the way, and Fireball, and now the flash for Boy will take this challenge. Suzy able to find himself the areas for his 3rd elimination, making this upcoming bonus pretty limited, but still, it is a bonus at all things told.
Yes, it is. And, well, once again, now the economy not looking great for Nightblood Gaming. They're going to try and scrape together something here, but I'm more interested on the other side right now. Tuzi has been really lighting up the kill feed, currently sitting at 17 kills, and you might be like, wow, Tuzi has been really popping off. But at the same time, Tuzi feels like they're a part of like the SAD mob that just completely rotates out, swings together, and it just happens to be that Tuzi is the one who is able to find those kills. honestly, that core of SAD members just moving together has been an extremely effective tool at mitigating a lot of the stuff that Nightblood Gaming want to do.
A really deep prowler, but it doesn't clear the corner on A link. So now you've got the vacuum pull in over towards B. Fast lane is up. Dude's just got to find his battleground once again. Benji working with him, though. No utility, though, for Benji. Everything is placed a little bit closer towards Pillar. That's a brilliant first blood. Plus the reveal on one more. Tuzi's not done. Woo, my goodness. Benji's still working with them. Can't quite lock down the final shots on to Hwin, but a very deadly defense as Hwin is just down to essentially a bullet worth of health, and Zerona will take care of business. Getting SAD Esports back on the board. 8-7 will go.
I mean, that round was just gifted to SAD Esports because of Benji and Tuzi just anchoring that B site. I have to comment on just the awareness, too, that we're seeing from those two players because they see the flood in coming more from that middle side. Okay, yeah, we're hanging out inside of the smoke. Benji's just like, you know, let me just check long because maybe they're going to put their flanker over there and just has the timing on Fireball Ops, who could have been the linchpin in just completely running over the site. And then, of course, between Tuzi and Benji, they're able to line up the rest of the kills as soon as that smoke drops. And it just works out excellently for these two, making sure that it's such a winnable scenario for the rest of their team.
Clean stuff, but again, that was in the face of a bonus. Now we get to our full rifle round. And quick action as the Prowler gets to work clearing out B pillar. The defense of Tuzi, though, playing behind the Cypher utility with still an opportunity to trigger a star if they so choose to. And this is just a dissection of the B site that will really stop Nightblood from being able to scale deep in towards that back alleyway.
And it's ever so patient now. You can see Nightblood Gaming are just kind of dumping a couple of their bullets, a couple of their dollars in onto this B site, but are just trying to make it seem like they might be faking. SAD Esports, meanwhile, they're exploring a little bit outside of A, just using Firpsa to check consistently, and so that gives them a better idea that it is going to be this B side hit.
Oh, there's the star placements over towards mid. Craft will be popped. Null command also being spent. Tuzi still getting the reveal and still connecting off of it. Tuzi's having himself a day. Follow up good as Zerona will clear out the rest of the site when lurking at mid. Catches 1v1. And everything from here will just go down to, well, just the 1v2 as Boy will... That's good. KO just appreciating KO tech right there, saying, you're not good enough, brother. You just stay right there.
On top of that, too, given the fact that SAD have control of the spike, this makes it so much more difficult for Hwin.
Forever a player, though. You look to the veteran viewpoint. The problem is the clock is also an opponent, and the initial shot for Ferbsa eventually do land right onto the noggin. So a pivotal round right there for SAD Esports, getting themselves to not just the tie, but also forcing some economical concern here for Nightblood.
Yeah, I really have to say I'm loving the way that Benji is playing this Cypher right now on Pearl. I think it's so... Like, obviously, Cypher trips, they're global, that's fantastic, but you just, like, look at how some of these traps are set up, not even for Benji themselves, it's for the rest of the squad here. And so that Cypher can go elsewhere and support elsewhere with the cyber cages, whereas the trips and stuff like that are just going to be helpful for completely different site. And honestly, they were capitalized on so brilliantly. Alum just wants to play the game, not going to happen according to Benji.
Yeah, maybe next round. Cosmic Divide trying to be the vehicle for this flood. Ooh. Man, just gets his one and gets out of it. Oh, and also denies the Killjoy utility. Prowler does land, though. Doesn't make a difference because Tuzi is challenging everything. 11 HP, a little double peek through the Cosmic Divide. Sure, the spike goes down, but it's going to be a flawless round for SAD Esports.
Tuzi. That was so bold to just, I've got 11 HP. Let me just go exploring. Walks out and finds all of Nightblood Gaming looking the other way. Just a little bit too focused on a different part of the site and gets 2 kills basically for free. And now that Cosmic Divide is still online for Tuzi. We're seeing a lot more ultimates starting to come online for SAD Esports. Well, Nightblood Gaming, they call another time out here. Or sorry, they call their first time out here because things are honestly really not going their way thus far. Sure, they get those first 2 rounds, but SAD's defense has been unbreakable on that B site.
It's been a problem, and for Nightblood, we really haven't seen any executes over towards A, and I'm wondering what the concern is. I think especially considering the fact that you've got a Neon that can essentially break down the entirety of the site. I understand, I mean, kind of going back to early days on this map when Neon was not fully as meta as she is now. You saw a lot of Neon on this map because you just throw the fast line, you get deep into halls, and you scale to a point where the defense has to try to retake from tower. But the fact of the matter is, you called it perfectly, Benji has not allowed anybody to get to back halls. So you're really dealing with kind of just a counteraction from one agent. And I think if you're Nightblood, you have to try something at A. And maybe they're listening to us because off the rip, there are all 5 members stacked up to the A barrier.
Yeah, the big like counter that's coming out right now is just the Cypher utility really keeping the Neon in check. And you know that Ilum is starting to feel that a little bit. There's a little bit more fear of just going in because consistently getting caught in trips and just getting sprayed down, it feels so bad, man.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, we're seeing the pressure be applied outside of this A. Immediately, Nightblood Gaming, they rotate themselves around. They want to pressure through Art instead. And the Dip just on the other side of here does get caught by the knife, but still hidden by the smoke.
Yeah, he's Dip is sitting here like, I want it. One of those games of chicken, like, I want it. I want you to see. Not kept though. Burbs up, still holding deep over towards A main. A little bit of a convoy for the defense, making its way back over towards mid, and well, Burbs gets caught. That puts a lot of stress here onto SAD Esports defensively. But whoa, what in the heavens is that from Alim? Just throwing himself out like a decoy. And it works out perfectly for Nightblood Gaming, who now have themselves a 5v2.
That is so tough, but it's just such a smart play coming in between Boy and Alim to make sure that they secure that kill. Dip now caught in between a rock and a hard place, gets sprayed down, and suddenly it's all up to Benji. It feels like just off of that single timeout, they realized how difficult this B site is going to be. And quite frankly, I'm wondering whether or not after this round, SAD Esports, they decide to change where Benji is going to be setting up that material because, you know, you place the trips on the other side, can't do much if they go elsewhere.
And that's the thing, though, is like, I think at a certain point, like, I know what you're saying, like, because Benji's been so effective, but at the same rate, like, you can't linchpin your whole defensive success off of, do they go to where Benji is? Like, I think you have to continue to sit there and say, Benji's winning B, so the rest of us have to step up our stuff and stop plays like this from happening at mid. To be fair, that's just weird. I mean, Alim is rubber banding all over the place. Like, little wiggle, little wag, little slip, little slide. Are we playing Valorant or are we showing our Omni movement? Hard to say. We've got full guns now coming though into round number 19. Another pivotal one here for both squads. Flashes out, Alim overdrive, gonna take advantage for a first. Relay bolt behind it, wants more, but Dip says not so fast. 2 kills for Dip, changes the tide.
Yeah, and just like that, like you can see Nightblood Gaming, they almost get neutered walking into that A site. They're so fearful now. And once again, this is another opportunity for that Cypher to really showcase its utility. Can you tell that I was a Cypher player? You can see that that B site is all set up and they can watch that one. And so they can put the pressure here onto this A site. They know they have the numbers advantage and they know that they should be able to win this out, but wins opens up on Dip.
Benji, next one up for contact. Rona in the corner. Again, catching perfect timing on the boy. Trying to throw some utility. Win response. Looking for one more over towards the backside at Flowers, but denied. Now it's just down to Fireball. He wants to play through Secret. It's bold. It's juicy. And it may work out. Just down to the timing on the peak. One dink is all Tuesday needs to take the follow-up fight. And SAD Esports break the tie. Goes up by 1.
And it's the dynamic duo, Tuesday and Benji, able to win that one out. But once again, just a good understanding of what to do. And you can see the protocols at play coming in from SAD Esports. Right off the rip, they lose Ferbsa, which is really annoying because, I mean, Ferbsa did have that big old sniper rifle in hand, but just anchoring things onto the back of the site, playing so smart, letting them flood in and just taking those one-off opportunities, peeking around those corners. It's very, like, hesitant, but at the same time effective without giving away too much to Nightblood Gaming. Of course, now they're going back onto B, at least pressuring down onto this B site. And so I'm curious to see whether or not they've got another solution to root out this Cypher.
Yeah, that Prowler doesn't even make contact with that first tripwire, though.
You should run.
Burbsa also dealing with some pressure over towards A main. Lockdown will be placed. Will there be a commitment behind this? Spike is not antsy to get forward as of yet. Cosmic Divide also going to support the offense, and Benji cannot do much. Does trap out one, but again, just doesn't make a difference. Kess will get the plant.
Okay, Hunter's Fury coming out.
Wow, are you kidding?
Oh, now
Plant
Kess.
gets denied.
Yeah, we'll be able to get this, but win on the back line.
Face your fear!
This one is going to be interesting because Rona has no idea. Ferbsa as well. This could be big.
Oh, look at this. Ferbsa's tracking backward. Like Silking 6, clearing hallways. Doesn't make a difference, though. Win still comes available for 2. Defensive Cosmic Divide is going to be spent here. Bold, to say the least. This is a crossfire right on both sides of tower. And Aelin finally gets activated. Cats will find the final after the plant. And another bounce back round here as Nightblood Gaming keep us locked in at 10.
Yeah, that was a good round. I mean, of course, using the Cosmic Divide so that when they go into the kill trips, it's going to be all good, homie. Yeah, that's going to make sure that a lot of that utility gets absolutely zero value. And you might wonder, well, why was it such a heavy investment coming in from Nightblood Gaming here? And simply put, they needed to win that round to just punish the economy yet again of SAD Esports. On this next buy, SAD Esports are going to be down to that eco buy here. On top of that too, they were able to pull out some of those ultimates from SAD Esports pockets. Nightblood Gaming really were just thinking about the long game on that round. And now they're ready to cash in.
I like this early Prowler. Keep Star over towards B-Link. We'll have defense pretty antsy about what's through mid. And the problem is it is just Sheriff. Trapwire gets deleted. That's going to alert Benji that he needs to keep head in the swivel. The problem is Aelin has taken that head right off his shoulders. Dip looking for a shoulder peek. Not going to find what he wants. And now middle of the map completely compromised.
And it's so tough because I was just about to say Aelin just holding things down. So SAD can't even begin to pressure it. And Dip is just on an island. No information at all on where they might be coming.
Yep. So this may be the last bastion of this defense at Esports as they're trying to re-clear out mid, not aware that Spike has made his way over towards A. You also got to keep in mind that there's a turret that is going to be deactivated on this pinch. So Win does have to kind of hold this position. Maybe an opportunity to 2v1 him, depending on the timing of the peak. And yeah, nice shot from Doozy. That'll be a weapon to work with.
Doozy, man.
It's
It's
been good.
actually just been on fire this match.
Choosy says, you can have that rifle. I'm hidden head. But bullied out through secret. Dip will drop in. This post plant now is very deep along the backside of the site. You also have to clear out A main. Little to say if you can't take by the candor of my voice. The hope around this retake has gone pretty much out the window, but Aelin is looking for an ace. Fireball, you are such a party pooper. Not quite a flawless
Of
round,
course.
but a big one for Nightblood, getting closer to 13.
It's always the Sentinel that grabs the last one away. And on top of that too, like, you know, we've been seeing a very subdued performance from both these duelists, and now starting to see Aelin start to really heat things up a little bit more. No longer as afraid of Benji's utility as much. We're really starting to see some of this neon play really come to fruition, and it's looking fantastic. It's distracting. They're hitting shots, not just kind of running in. You can tell that Nightblood Gaming are doing a lot more to support and play off of the neon rather than just kind of running it down and just going for a cool little slide, but immediately getting punished from the members of SAD Esports. And so now SAD Esports, they're going to take a timeout because this is very quickly slipping away from them. As a reminder, this was Nightblood Gaming's map pick.
Yep. And again, just to kind of point the picture, what happens? You've got a timeout for Nightblood. They say, we got to find a way to hit A. And now all of a sudden, A is working. So on the flip side, SAD Esports need to figure out if they want to try to move around Benji, going into what is essentially the game here in this next round, is they're going to have full purchase. And then if they lose it, they will be on force buy. Or do you just trust that you can maybe get some sort of regression through A main? Like, I feel like they haven't shown that on this defensive side as much as they did from the attacking half, which is, I won't say like weird, but it is maybe just a little bit odd that they haven't really tried it simply due to how much they showed from the offensive side through A main. This time it's going to be an early knife double star placement. The knife doesn't reveal anything, so maybe an opportunity for Doozy to get a little bold behind these stars, but not going to happen. Instead, it's going to be a stack up where Benji's going to have some support from Ferbs' knives, but nope, just kidding. Fireball finds the first blood once again.
Most importantly, that gives the information away of where that jet is going to be positioned, so they know that things might be a little bit more different. The trapwire gets triggered, is going to be able to get reactivated because nobody's going to be there to shoot it out. So at least they're able to stop the floodgates on this B site for a second. Nightblood Gaming, though, they're all amped up and they are ready to flood.
Yeah, Dip needs to be very cautious about the timing of his information,
No
or
way.
just don't send it. Just go ahead and hit the head. Owl drone to follow up. Is there a commitment here? Yes, there is. Now Benji looking primed and ready to take the battle. Follow up from the recon dart. Nope, it's going to be a shock dart instead. That will chip out Win. Oh, and Fireball is going to be revealed. And Nightblood are just full sending it still. A surprise to say the least. But the reveals continue to come through. Dip still finding damage, but can't convert on a kill. And Boyd's going to have a chance to plant.
Now the flood from the defenders is coming in through. Keep in mind, this is a 4v3 scenario.
Indeed it is. Moments that like this, though, make it that much more punishing. Taking out the defense deeper over behind tower. Dip has been a hero so far in this round. He's found a ton of damage. Now it's going to have to just be the raw vanilla gun skill because the null command has been spent. Little pop flash from Boy actually kind of screws his teammate for a moment, and Dip will work his way out, find the final kills with Doozy, and Sad Esports somehow get that retake. What in the hell was that flashbang?
That was questionable at best. I think a little bit of miscoordination, a little bit of miscalling. And unfortunately, it breaks bad for Nightblood Gaming. Sad Esports, they get that round. And I'm not going to lie, Shift, when I was watching that round, I almost felt frustrated for Nightblood Gaming. They get this kill onto Furbza. Should be so easy to move in, but so much utility gets expended just to make it so annoying to move in onto the B site. And on top of that, too, Dip gets a couple of kills, making this back into contention. Like, that round should not have gone that way. Everything was stacked against Nightblood Gaming with how that round played out.
Absolutely miserable post plant. And huge reveal here. Relay bolt down. Follow up to the Prowler, but there's some counter utility to stop Alim from getting around the corner. But wow, you want to talk about a possibly game-winning round. It nearly comes into full contact here outside the A site, but all 10 players still alive and well.
Got scary for a second, and now everyone can hear just a pin drop in the server. So many sight lines just waiting for a little bit of aggression. The Cosmic Fight comes through. Alim finds the first.
But shotgun in the corner, able to only find one. Good counter trade coming through. Doozy. Chip damage from the Nano Swarm. Boy, still holding on the side of the offensive Cosmic Divide.
Right there.
This is going to be a very difficult retake. Not just the fact that it's 3v4, but you've got Kessan and Odin who can just be a bullet hose.
Furbza gives the positioning away, activates the dash. Boy steps out here, not able to secure a kill.
But follow-up could be there. Fireball, good for one, better for two. Furbza also shut down, and Nightblood Gaming will get to map point in what has been an absolute barn burner, slobber knocker.
It's been a slugfest between these two teams. And once again, I have to say, great discipline coming in from Nightblood Gaming. They could have just went ahead with everything. Like, you could tell that the engine was revving. They're ready to push onto the site, but they immediately just back off as soon as a lot of that utility gets placed down from Sad Esports, just prevent the flood in. And doing that, giving them a couple of extra seconds, allowing their utility to still be available for them, allows that flood in to be that much more successful and really puts Sad into a tough spot. And now they are on this match point. A very scattered buy coming in from Sad Esports. The highest weapon are 2 Guardians and a Judge coming through. A lot of ultimates, though, and they have to rely on that if they want to win this round.
Yeah, you need a first blood, or at least a counter in the first engagement to keep the numbers relatively level. Because the fact of the matter is, the Hunter's Fury has obviously kill potential, but most importantly, it has the ability to delay for a spike plant. And if you can stop the spike plant, re-engage after it fades with a Cosmic Divide, then you could be cooking, especially if Dorota can find elimination and follow up with null command. But this is all hypothetical. The problem is, it's going to have to be a reaction here over towards the site. Benji feel frisky enough to throw a shoulder. Nope, not in the face of the fade utility. But Doozy does, and he gets punished. Hunter's Fury, how about that for one? Doesn't quite land on the second. Benji, the next one up in line, and Benji provides a huge shot lands, but gets spammed down by the Odin, and Nightblood can continue to play
30
forward.
seconds left.
Ooh, Furbza, that was a little bit too close for comfort.
Gets over the
Spike
top.
planted.
Spike planted, Fireball holding right on top. Tess still a bullet hose deeper over towards main. No flank on the way. You do not have the ultimate available to try to come back on in. Ferbs is able to find one with the Guardian, but immediately traded. Prowler to follow up. Does not see Zerona as the Owl Drone will try to clear out the backside of Halls. Gwyn now trying to be bullied out. Follow-up utility trying to come through. Recon Bolt reveals, but Gwyn continues to throw shoulders. The longest reload in the world for Kess, but doesn't make a difference. He stayed out of the picture long enough to force this 1v1 with Dip. Trading on the weapons. Dip is going to try to go for the stick, but not going to happen. Nightblood Gaming take them nail biter. 13-11 in the opener.
Oh my goodness. Both these teams once again fighting for elimination here, or simply not being eliminated and finding their spot in the playoffs eventually. But Nightblood Gaming, they squeak by on this map. It was very close between these two teams, and you know that SAD Esports, they definitely wanted to be able to sweep that one up, but when it just came down to it, Nightblood Gaming just felt a little bit snappier when they were able to get the engagements that they wanted, when they were able to take those opportunities that they set themselves up for, when the wheels were clicking well. It felt like SAD didn't even have a foot in the door, no matter what they tried. Nightblood Gaming ran over them as long as those pieces fell into place.
It was just so odd, and I know the Destin's going to have a field day trying to break this one down. The first 6 rounds of this map is flash and dash, flash and dash, flash and dash. It's just utility over walls, people sliding, people flying all over the place. And then all of a sudden, it's none of that anymore. It's just all straight up execute and deciphering where exactly you can break down the defense or not break down the defense. But regardless of it, a tight one for map number 1. We're going to head over to a break. We come back a bit. Ooh, don't go far. We got more Valorant right after this.